All right, guys. Hello. Welcome back to the FPL One Percenters Pod. Excited to be joined by Hammer and Hass today. Guys, how are we doing?
All right, there. Looking forward to another good chat. It's been quite an interesting week.
I know it's been an outscoring week as well. So you can see the spring in my step and the higher pitch in my voice because we've had a good week. And, I have forgotten what the feeling of a green arrow is like. But we move on before we jump into things. Just like to say a massive shout out to Footsapp. We are brought to you by Footsapp. Fantastic app. Links are in the bio. Check them out. They are a grassroots app that helps you sort out your football sessions. And let us jump into an exciting game week. We will start and go with the highest ranked player amongst us. Hass, how was your game week this week, man?
Yeah, it was actually, the Leeds boys did it for me. It was a good game week, 96 points. I think, dropping my rank here, I'm at up to 11,000, just over 11,000. So, flying high. Yeah. So, it's been a good few weeks. So I think, it's the highest I've been this season, 11,000. Now I got, 13 game weeks to try and hold on. But, speaking of high rankings, just a quick shout out to Peterborough United, who are top of the League One. So, I had to mention that.
Up the bosh.
Yeah.
Love that. Hammer, what about yourself, man?
Yeah, it was a good week.
Another shout out, another celebration coming.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to say the reason Kazim's not here. I'm climbing up the relegation spots, getting closer to Kazim and yourself. But it was a good week. I captained Dallas, so that paid off.
Nice. Tell us how many points you got this week, then.
I got 102, but I had -4, so I got 98.
Okay, smashed it. Yeah, great points all around. I was... I backed the template this week, Dallas, Rafinha, and Bamford, and went with Rafinha captain. Paid off so nicely, to be honest. 96 points for me as well with a -4. So it was good. And you know what? It's just a testament to how quickly you can climb rank. Like sitting at about 950, 960K, close to 1 million, and I'm gone up to 788 in just one good game week. So a couple of those back to back, even if you are sitting quite low down, can have a great effect. So green arrows all around. Leeds, like we said, delivered. And what were our thoughts aside from that from this game week? Liverpool and Spurs both struggling, and especially considering we look at the stats, we look at the fixtures for Spurs, but they have good fixtures coming up. Have they shown you anything? By this point, I was hoping to have seen something from Spurs. Hass?
Yeah, and you know what? That's one of the things, because when the fixtures came out and you're looking at the doubles, you look at both of these teams, Spurs, great fixtures, even Liverpool, you think they can get some points. But the thing is, can you pull the trigger on their assets? And, we'll see in the slides later on where we look at their underlying numbers. And you know what, to be fair, they're not too bad. Like, it could be a good punt, but if it doesn't come off, you'll be kicking yourself.
Yeah, it's one of those where they weren't playing well. But Hammer, what do you think? With Liverpool, anything exciting or similar to Spurs?
With Liverpool, I feel like with Liverpool, it's always more exciting because they're an attacking team. With Spurs, it comes down to value for money, right? If you have other options, then maybe you don't look at Spurs. But we'll see it with the stats as we go on.
True. I guess Liverpool have players coming back from injury as well, right? So it's a different story.
Yeah. With Liverpool, it's always the same thing. Like their defense is gone, so attacking wise, they're not playing as well. But they always have the same options every week. So if you have Salah, you have Mane, sooner or later they'll do something.
Yeah, they will, to be fair. And West Ham and Leicester rewarded their owners. I have someone who sold James Maddison a couple of weeks ago and is regretting it quite heavily. But yeah, they're both doing bits, to be honest, to be fair to them. English managers as well.
Yeah, and Harvey Barnes, Vardy's back. Maddison, like you said, they're all against tough fixtures on paper, but they're getting returns.
Yeah, they are, and they're backing themselves because the stats we'll see shortly, right, are there to back that up, right?
That's it.
And I don't think we need to say anymore. But Bruno, with the assist, that assist kind of just sums up Bruno as an FPL asset. Hammer, I'll go to you first as a United fan.
Yeah, no, we've been saying it since the beginning, right? Everything goes through him, but it doesn't matter what he does, he'll find a way onto the score sheet.
Even if it's not going through him, he's going to find a way that it went through him, right?
Yeah, it's just Mr. Dependable.
Yeah, brilliant. No, that's exciting, guys. We've got a lot to go through and a bunch of stats from the Statman, so we'll jump into the fixtures if that's okay.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, brilliant. So this is shout out to Legomane FPL for this FPL matrix that we've been using over the last few weeks. Hass, do you want to take us through this for a little bit?
Yeah, so game week 26,
Yeah.
I think we talked about it quite a few weeks ago. This was going to be the big double game week. So I know a lot of people, there's a lot of chip strategies here. A lot of people are wildcarding to take advantage of all these double game weeks. I know a lot of people are planning the bench boost who wildcarded last week, and even the triple captain is an option. And I don't think you can go wrong with any three of those options. And like we mentioned, Liverpool, Sheffield, and Chelsea. You look at Man City, West Ham, and Wolves, and then you look at Spurs with Burnley and Fulham. These are good fixtures, right? Where you get a lot of points. But like in FPL, you can't own everybody, and there's going to be some players that you miss out on. You just got to try and capitalize.
True. Hammer, if you don't have a free hit, are you keeping one eye on 26 and one eye on 29?
Yeah. If you're using your wild card, then you can go crazy. But then the issue becomes when you reach game week 29. If you bank on those teams, then game week 30 you don't have your wild card, so you have to be a lot more careful in game week 29. I feel like there's so many double game weeks, so many teams playing 2 games this week that you're better off just making 3 or 4 moves, because most teams will already have 2 players. It's just like Hass said, if you want the Spurs players or if you want the City players and you don't have them, then you have to find a way to get them, and it's going to be hard without a wild card.
Yeah, it does take a few moves to get there. And again, we come back to that form versus fixtures thing that we'll have a look at the form and the stats. But the fixtures are there for teams like Spurs, the teams to target in 29, sort of like Spurs, Villa, Arsenal, West Ham. We are holding players from some of these teams, so it might not be a bad idea to have a look at them as well. And one thing to remember is that even after this in 31, there will be a few doubles still to play. They haven't determined when, but there will be a few doubles to play, right?
Yeah, I think the big one now is here, City, because they played 2 double game weeks back to back, right? So don't get rid of City assets if you have any.
Yeah, very true.
And the one thing I'd say is if you go with Aston Villa players, you go with, I know Grealish is out, but you go with somebody who you know is going to start. Most likely they're going to start both doubles. With Man City, with 2 doubles in a row, even if you get a KDB or a Gundogan or even the defenders now, they're all on rotation risk. So if you can get 3 games out of those 4 games for your Man City players, I think you're onto a winner.
Yeah.
You know what? Pep said a couple of things that I found interesting. So I know we've gone a bit long on this slide, but he said, one, that he is going to rotate, openly said he's going to rotate. And number 2, he said that we are happy to win games 1-0 as well.
Yeah.
Like we don't mind that, because we know there's so many games, so we're going to have to conserve our energy as well. So you'll see players coming off early, players being rotated, and also sometimes them not going for it as much as they can in the last stages of games as well. But yeah, that's anything to add on these fixtures. One team I'd like to point out, you can pause the video if you'd like to have a look at the table for a bit longer, but Everton's fixtures in the double as well should not to be ignored. Southampton and West Brom, which we'll come to shortly in terms of their defenses. But shall we jump into the stats?
Yeah, let's go.
Brilliant. So first up, as we have a deep dive into defense, right?
Yeah, so this is just team defense. We looked at this table a few weeks ago. I thought, it's a good time to bring it up. So this is the last 6 game weeks. So it's sorted by minutes per XG conceded. And you look at that, Chelsea and Man City way above everybody else. And Chelsea, since the new bosses come in, they've been doing amazing at the back. Rudiger, outstanding value at, I think he's like 4.6, 4.7 now. In a Chelsea defense, and he started every game, so he's a good bet. And then you look down the bottom, and Tottenham, surprising to see Tottenham there. Liverpool are there, and Crystal Palace, Southampton, we know. So these are for the doubles, you want to aim for the teams at the top of this list for defenders. But again, rotation is a risk.
Yeah, that is quite worrying. Hammer.
The way I see the stats is like I know City, just based on the eye test, they look good on defense. I think Chelsea, they've been playing well, but they've been conceding chances. Like I think Rudiger scored the own goal a few games ago, right? United, they look like the top 4 there, but we all know their defense is weak, right? So they're conceding less chances, but the chances they're conceding might be bigger. And again, the numbers are there too. But the way I see it is, there's some players like Aston Villa are so low on this table, but their defense is really good. Leicester is the same, right?
Yeah. So, the thing that I would say with Chelsea is that with them being quite high, you have to look at who they've played though, right? In the last few game weeks, the last 6 game weeks since Tuchel's come in, they played, I think, Sheffield, West Brom, if I'm not mistaken, like teams that won't generally create much as well, right? Which is one thing to keep in mind, like just to qualify those stats, right?
No, that's true. That's true. They have had a slightly easier run. And what Hammer was saying about big chances. Look at Man City. Minutes per big chance conceded, 219. That's outstanding.
Yeah,
that's insane. That's crazy. That's a good shot, actually.
Yeah.
But teams like Villa, that's why I think that Martinez is quite a good shout in terms of save points, right? Because they concede a big chance every 57 minutes, and a lot of the times he's saving those, right? Which is why he's such a dependable FPL asset, right?
Yeah, and it's true. You look at some of the, the keepers from the top teams. You're either going to get 2 points from them or 6 points from them, and then you look at, like Pope or Martinez. If they get a clean sheet, you're not getting 6 points. You're getting 7, 8, 9, 10 with the bonus as well, right? So and they're cheaper, so it's there's definitely value there.
That is true. They are a good shout. Also, just like to give a shout out to our missing brother Kazim. Brighton at the top of this list. I think their upturn in form has coincided with him bringing Sanchez in, right, Hammer?
No, not bringing him in, but benching him. Every time he plays, he concedes.
Shall we move on to attack? I think it is next, right?
Yeah. Let's go to attack. So this is, where you really want to look for the double game weeks. If you're looking at attackers, Man City, we talked about, even though they're the best up there with the minutes per XG, there's a big rotation risk. You look at Manchester United, again, they're up there. Even Brighton, they're sneaking up on these tables. They've been on a good little run. But, the one is Liverpool. So I know a lot of, people transferring out Liverpool players, wondering what to do with Salah. Could you free up those funds, bring in Son and Kane with that money? But, he's getting the chances. And, it's one of those things with Salah. I know it's been a while now. It's since he's had a really big haul, but he's the sort of guy that could do it for you. And if you captain him this week, I don't think too many people are going to be doing that. It's a good shout.
Yeah, that is a good shout.
I think he plays Chelsea, right, this week in the double. So that's the only
Burnley, United, and Liverpool both play Chelsea. So Bruno and Salah both play Chelsea, right?
Yeah. You have to pick between the two. But I'm surprised you mentioned Spurs there, and if you look at Spurs, they're at second last. That's crazy, right? So
that's insane, man.
If you're thinking of bringing in a Spurs asset, that table just puts you off.
It does.
So the question is that because they haven't had Kane for the last few weeks, or they just that dire at the moment?
Yeah, I think they die because they haven't had Kane, because everything goes through them. And when Kane and Son play, then, they seem to score goals. So this minutes per XG is definitely due to Kane missing out on a few games.
Yeah.
No, that is a good shot.
Yeah, I think if you look at the table, like Brighton surprising, but West Ham being up there. So if you have a West Ham player that, you have Antonio on your team, he doesn't score every game, but he's going to get chances. Right?
The other thing about Antonio is the 29, right? He's playing in 29 as well.
Yeah, and he's playing in 29 too. The team that I was going to mention, the same way you just said, playing in 29 is Aston Villa. Right, so they have the double coming up. I know they're middle table here, but they have the double coming up, and then they play all the way up to 29 too.
Nice.
Right, so their fixtures are pretty good too. Yeah.
That is true. They have a good sort of little run, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you're not holding a free hit, you keep an eye out. Leeds are obviously up there. I heard a stat yesterday that this season Patrick Bamford has missed 13 big chances, and Harry Kane has missed 6. So just to give you an indication of how he's scored a lot of goals, but Leeds create that many chances, and it's backed up by the numbers as well.
Yeah.
I just wanted to spend some time discussing Leeds because I feel like we owe them that much after the big haul.
Yeah.
Okay. Brilliant. That was a good shot. Anything to add on attack, guys?
No, let's move on.
Yeah, if you'd like to, like I said, have a look at the stats in a bit more detail, feel free to pause the video. But I'll jump onto the next slide here.
Yeah, so player involvement. This is a good one, and this again is over the last 6 game weeks. So this is, this is specific players that you can target, and you can see, Gundogan you expect to be up there, Sterling as well, with 6 returns in the last 6 games. So he's doing well. Obviously Bruno's there, and Salah we talked about 4 goals in 6 games. Liverpool are doing badly, but he's still banging them in. And Rafinha up there, what a legend! 5.4 million, 3 goals, 4 assists.
Nice.
There's Yeah, and then the Villa boy Watkins right down at the bottom. He makes the top 20, so he's on there as well.
That's good, Ross. I'd just like to say that the top 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players are all in my team. So hopefully that's a good sign of things to come.
Yeah.
That was all I wanted. Have any thoughts?
Yeah, no. So you mentioned Bamford, right? He's at second last on this with his XGI being 218 minutes. Like that's insane for someone. So he's either being really efficient or they just keep giving him chances. No one's expecting him to score.
Yeah. And then
the guy I'm looking at is 2 here is Luke Shaw. Going back to the defensive table, like he's getting quite a lot of assists. He's on corners, so I'd be looking at him if you want someone on the defense side. Yeah.
I think no player has created more chances in the last few weeks. He's quite up there in that stat as well in terms of chance creation. That's 4 assists plus the odd clean sheet as well. Like if he's
the only defender there, right?
He's the only defender on this list as well.
Point actually, considering like we've all been shouting about, like recently people have been shouting about Alonso and Cancelo. Neither of them make this list, right? It's about the absences as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Rated Luke Shaw, well done.
Yeah, I think
shout out if you're watching.
I think Manchester United signing Tellez really got him going.
Yeah, they did get him going. Literally got on his bike.
Yeah.
People were making fun of me when I got my Shaw jersey. Now I got to wear the Shaw jersey.
The thing is, I'd like to qualify that Sterling one last 6 game weeks. Honestly, he's only scored 1 in the last 3 while I've owned him. So everything else came in the previous 3. But he is looking good. What did hurt was that he didn't get any bonus points for his game-winning header. I feel like the leap alone deserved 2 bonus points.
He scored it too early. If he scored it in the 90th, he'd get his 3 bonus.
yeah, as you saw with Benteke. But it's a good shout. The usual suspects, a lot of people that some higher than you expect. Brighton, again, representation quite high with Trossard as well, who's been at the top of a lot of these tables for quite a while. So brilliant insight, to be fair. Yeah. And we'll move on to the last sort of thing we're going to look at. It is a couple more tables than usual because we're heading into a double. So we want to give you as much information as possible, right?
Yeah, and this one, so attacking stats. So this one, instead of sorting it by XG or XA, I thought, let's sort it out by shots inside the box. So this is, you're going to be watching these double game weeks. You want a player and you want to be excited because he's going to have a lot of chances. So if you look at these, shots inside the box, you see Bamford, Watkins, Salah, Mane, and look, Pepe sneaking in there with 13 shots inside the box, right? So these are the sort of guys that, you think, all right, if I'm going to watch a double game week, and I pick up one of these guys who's having lots of shots in the box, at least something to get excited about, and they could hold big.
Yeah, so, that's a good shout actually. The one thing I want to say is that Bamford, I just wanted to get your thoughts on top of the shots inside the box, but bottom in terms of expected goals involvement, which is crazy, which means that like he's getting in there and he's getting into areas where you wouldn't expect him to score from, and he's scoring from there.
Yeah, exactly, right? Because the XG and XA is dependent on the quality of the chance, but shots inside the box, he could just be popping them from anywhere, right? So
what comes to mind is that offside goal that he scored against Wolves as well, the one that was ruled offside. That was like a really great finish from quite a tight angle as well. Like he does score some worldies.
Yeah, he's scored some good goals,
Yeah. The other thing I was going to show you is Harry Kane. He sneaks in towards the bottom of that list. But remember, he's only been fit for, I think, 3 of these 6 games or 2.5 of these 6 games. So, he's up there, right? So that he's the sort of guy that likes to have a lot of shots as well.
I feel like it's about time that Mourinho is going to shake things up or do something to get them to have that run as well. That's just an opinion.
Yeah.
But it just feels like something's got to give at Spurs, right?
Right. And one of the interesting shouts I was reading online is, on some Spurs chat, is they've got a feeling that Gareth Bale's going to be starting this week. So, that's another outside shout for Gareth Bale. Yeah,
nice. That bring back to the heyday of FPL when you just captain Bale every week.
Yeah.
But that's a good shout, actually. Have anything to add on these player stats? Anyone that stands out to you?
Yeah, Harvey Barnes. Right. So
thought you were going there.
Yeah, everyone's looking at Maddison and Vardy. Like Vardy's been injured, I get it, but I think Maddison's not even here. I don't even see him.
He's injured as well at the moment, I think, right? It's a recurring thing he has.
Yeah, he said it's a 75% chance of playing according to FPL, but I think Harvey Barnes sneaks in here. He's been a light the last few games, and he's worth a shout.
No, he's been smashing it, to be fair, for quite a while. As a Barnes owner, you'd be quite happy with his return, to be honest. The last 6, 3 goals, 3 assists?
Yeah.
Can't ask for much more at that price point as well. Outscoring Grealish by quite a bit as well at the moment.
Yeah, his big chance is only 2, which is weird. But I guess Warner has 5 big chances, so maybe he's due a breakout. But not
that's crossed. But moving on, again, feel free to pause. This minimum 200 minutes played as well, and we'll try and keep this quite concise, give you guys all the information, and we'll move on to this game week. Guys, in terms of this game week in a micro way, I know we've looked at it in a macro ways, but like, what are your thoughts on United have, captaincy-wise, United have a couple of good fixtures. They play Chelsea and Palace. We already spoke about Spurs who play Fulham and Burnley, I believe it is. Any of those looking exciting to you, or are you looking elsewhere? So actually, I'll ask this another way. Is City players too much of a rotation risk to captain for you?
So the thing with City's fixtures is, like we saw with Gundogan a couple of weeks ago, is even if he gets one game, they can still haul.
Yeah.
Right. But if you want to try and play it a bit more safe, I think if you look at Manchester United, or you look at Liverpool, or you look at Spurs as well, those are the three teams where you could probably pick a player and you think, okay, yeah, he's guaranteed to get 2 starts. I think that's where I would go.
Yeah. So have I missed out City's last game, second game on here?
I was gonna say, I think we're missing the City game.
Yeah. So I was trying to look for it because I was not sure who's the second. I think they play Fulham, right? Second, or
Wolves.
Yeah. Wolves. Okay.
Wolves.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
So both really good games.
Yeah. I agree with Hass that we saw with Gundogan last game, but honestly, I'm scared of the rotation risk this week, especially with them being so far ahead. So I was initially leaning with Bruno, but seeing that United play Crystal Palace and Liverpool play Sheffield, I'm leaning Salah this week. I'm thinking Salah might be a better option, but who knows? Maybe I'll go with another defender this week.
Yeah, the way Dallas played off, got to respect that, to be honest. I'm probably going to lean towards Bruno just because it makes it more fun to watch United games. If it's all or nothing, it might have the potential to ruin a weekend or a weekend and a week. But we move on. At least to live by the sword, die by the sword. Any final thoughts to add, guys? I'm going to jump off these now.
No, I think, looking ahead, that's great. Just, one final thought is, Fantasy Premier League, it's made it big time this week. I'm sure you've heard of the stories with this FPL Insider. It's just a bot that looks at, players involved with the clubs and, sports physios and any managers. And then as soon as they trade somebody out, it gives you a notification if they trade somebody out from their own team. So it's FPL Insider last, Friday, I got an alert saying that, 5 or 6 Aston Villa insiders have traded out Grealish. So I'm like, well, that definitely means Grealish is injured, and he was. And then now it's become a big thing. So Villa players are banned from playing FPL. Pep Guardiola came out and said that it's unethical.
So, did he?
Yeah.
No way. I didn't see that one.
Yeah. So
and then you have Patrick Bamford saying, I captain myself.
So FPL's made it big time. Yeah,
I know, smashed it. That's a good shot, actually. We're going mainstream now, finally. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
But aside from that, it's again sorry, carry on now?
Yeah, go ahead. No, I was just saying, Guardiola also said he doesn't know what FPL is.
Yeah, he's been giving FPL managers a headache for the last 3-4 years with his roulette, and he's saying it's unethical. I think he's unethical.
Honestly, he just sets up his team and then sets up his FPL team, then picks his lineup.
Yeah.
Well, listen, it's been a pleasure. Your normal traditional 11 a.m. deadline on a Saturday, so not too much to worry about in terms of stress. Although I did love a relaxed Friday night last week, because I wasn't stressing about who to captain. I think I want to stick with that and just sort it all out on Friday. But guys, good luck with the game week, and hopefully we'll catch you on the other side.
Okay, take it easy. Speak to you next week.
Bye.